Okay, so I'm going to read a story, tell you a little story about my personal life, the last, some miracles that happened to me in the last couple days, and read a story to you initially here out of this book, the Baal Shem Tov, Mystical Stories on the Weekly Torah portion. And there's 5 of these books. I have an affiliate link in the description for this. But anyway, so hopefully this will be some encouragement to you, my personal story here. But anyway, there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered together against Moshe and against Aaron. And this is for the last week's Torah portion. Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the congregation of the tent of meeting to the entrance of the tent of meeting. Then Moses raised his arm and struck the rock with his staff twice. And this is from Parashat Chukat. So Numbers 20 verses 2 through 11, sections of it. So this story is called The Thirsty Student. It says, and then there was the time that the Baal Shem Tov and his students were walking down a country road. Suddenly, an overwhelming thirst overcame one of his students. Rebbe, he said, I'm extremely thirsty. However, the Baal Shem Tov ignored him and continued to walk briskly. Rebbe, please, he pleaded, if I do not get some water immediately, I feel death approaching. The Baal Shem Tov shot him an agitated look and replied, do you believe that Hashem is omnipotent? Do you think he anticipated your intense thirst before the creation of the world and planned for it? The student hung his head and quietly said, yes, of course, I believe. The Baal Shem Tov and his group of followers continued to walk for some time until they came upon a peasant carrying 2 buckets of water. Where are you going? They asked. Why are you on this deserted road with these pails of water? The peasant scoffed. The Lord of these parts has had a moment of insanity. For some unbeknownst reason, he demanded that I fill 2 buckets of water from this area and bring them to him. The Baal Shem Tov smiled at the thirsty student and commented, now you see the foresight of Hashem. He made the landowner undergo temporary madness to quench your thirst. And so it was. So here we go. So what happened to me this last couple of days? So Thursday was the last day I went to work. I didn't, this is the end of a pay cycle, so I don't get paid until money doesn't hit my bank account until midnight, Monday night. And, beginning of the month, rent comes out, everything's automatic payment, this, that, whatever. Like, get buried. My personal account goes negative, like, big time. And so I didn't have any money to get gas, but I had enough gas to get to work. This is an hour away. And this is just part of the struggles of being out here. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of means to make a living out here. There's not a lot of industry or anything like that. So anyway, I was thinking, I'll just take the gas can that I have for my weed trimmer, take it with me, and then I can, put gas in the van, on my way home if, and I'm pretty sure that it was that I didn't have enough gas to get home. So, but on my way to work, I'm like, oh, darn, I didn't bring that gas can. So I thought, well, I have some money in eBay that I can transfer over to my business account, and then I can, go from there and transfer that over and get some gas. But so on my lunch break, that's what I do. I move the money from eBay to my business account, and then all of a sudden I go to my bank account to look to see if it hits, because it's an instant transfer, so they say like within 30 minutes. And it's like my business account is -2. And I'm like, oh, darn it. So here it is. Like, I think it's like a 3-year subscription for my business email services that came out. It's like over $100 and some. And it came out that day. And it put my business account negative. So what I transferred over from eBay, it's still negative. So basically the money just went like, it just disappeared, like unusable, right? So I thought, well, I got a friend in this town, so I'll text him and see if he can help me out and help me get some gas. So fortunately, he was able to do that and he helped me out. And it was great opportunity because I was able to talk to him. I haven't talked to him for a while. And so that's part of the problem, but there's still the problem that I don't have gas money to get to work on Monday either, and I don't get paid until Monday night. So and then I don't have much going for me for Shabbat. So going into Shabbat, so it was looking pretty bleak for the weekend, and so one of the most loyal subscribers here on this channel. He we talk offline, and he ended up sending me some money, and that helped out a bit. And then money came from a different direction, from some family. That helped out. And then on top of that, so the one thing is, you'll notice in here, he was talking about being thirsty, and he said that he was close to death. So there's a concept in Judaism that there's a couple things that are like death. So poverty is like death. When your wealth is taken away, that's like a form of death. Whenever someone says something bad about you, when they slander you, that's like killing you. That's essentially like killing you, but you're still alive. So it can almost be like worse than being dead, because like, at some ways, some intense slander can be almost like worse than being dead, because you have to live through it, right? But anyway, so that's another form. But anyway, like poverty, specifically, it is like a form of death. So that encapsulates your it's almost like equivalent to your life, right? But so it was interesting, because on top of that, so before that money came around, didn't have anything going into Shabbat, and a friend contacted me and wanted to do something for Shabbat, and I'm like, well, I'd love to, but I don't have any money. Like, I'm broke, mode. Like, so he's like, no, that's all right. We can do the food. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, we'll get through this. And so that's when, after that, it was one of the subscribers actually sent me some money, and some family sent me some money. And then on top of that, this was actually interesting. Then I didn't expect this, but my brother, I have equipment back home that I really don't have access to, but my brother, he's like an equipment dealer, and he sold one of these machines that I have. He's like, somebody came and bought some machines, and like, this is right before Shabbat. He's like, I sold this machine for this much money, and I just sent it to you through PayPal. Like, I don't even know if he knows the challenge I was up against, but it was interesting because it was just that day. And most people don't notice this kind of stuff, but I do. I think, like, in Judaism, it trains you to notice these things. So this is what I mean about poverty and death, right? So he sent me, the amount of money that he sent me for the sale of that machine is the gematria of my name. It's the numeric value of my Hebrew name. So it's almost like putting that life back into me, right? So there was a handful of people that did that, whether it's gas, food, and funds. And here I'm going over the weekend. I'm not exactly sure, but I was like behind quite a bit, like negative in my accounts, a lot. And here we go. I'm going into the weekend, and probably by the time Monday hits, I should be positive before, I get paid Monday night. So Baruch Hashem, all that stuff comes around. So miracles can happen. Things can get turned on their head. And this is what Hasidut teaches, that things in the world, they go through these cycles. Things get turned on their head very, very frequently, and very quickly, and very fast, and you don't know what you don't expect typically happens. So the main perspective is, and this is actually my advice to people, if you're going through some problem, put your burden out there to somebody else. Just let somebody know. Just don't like keep it to yourself, and just do your hitbodedut with Hashem, and be like, it's going to come. You know what? Just actually voice it. This is my problem. You don't have to tell everybody all your problems. Like my friend that got me some gas, I'm like, hey, this is the problem that I had. And he came through. And then somebody else, it's like, hey, you want to, have dinner together? And it's like, no, this is my problem. And it came through, and all those little things, all these miracles, they added up to being one big weekend of miracles. So, like I say, if you leave an opening the size of the eye of a needle, Hashem will broaden it. That's the principles. So hopefully that encourages you. Don't think that you're not, that Hashem hasn't planned for your circumstance at the creation of the world. Anytime you pray for something, sometimes you just don't see it materialize immediately. Like I pray for people, certain things, and all these things all over the place for whatnot. I have cards in my Siddur, a whole list of stuff that I pray for. And just because you just don't see it happen immediately doesn't mean that it's not working behind the scenes to transpire, or that something somewhere else in the world that it hasn't sparked and it's starting. You just don't see it. You're not going to see it until it actually develops into something much bigger. You could be praying for something and it's starting without somebody knowing, some desire in their heart, some thought in their head. It gets building and building and building until they can't contain it much more, and they have all this energy to do it, and boom, it's they jump out with this idea, and this is something you've been praying for this whole time. And that's actually part of what's happened for our community here in Ava. So it's very interesting to see these things happen. Your prayers are not worthless. They are building something every single day. So even because you pray that the Beit HaMikdash will be restored every single day, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Just don't expect that nothing is happening. It's absolutely happening. Every single day, something is working up to it. It's steps. Like an olah. What is an olah? It is steps. It is ascending. Right? So, and that's something that's actually interesting. Maybe I'll share this with you. So, are you guys familiar with that song, HaAderet V'HaEmunah, Lechai Olamim? So sometimes it's called HaAderet V'HaEmunah. Sometimes it's called Lechai Olamim. It's in the Siddur, the Sephard Siddur for Shabbat. The Ashkenaz only say it on Yom Kippur. It's a very ancient song. I swear there is textual basis for that song back 3,000 years. It in every aspect of where it can be traced back to, it is a song, and it's considered a song that the angels sing. And it's basically, there are two attributes for each letter of the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet. But if you look closely to that song, if you pull it up in Hebrew, you'll notice that the first word of every line, the first letter of each word of every line, Hey, Vav, Lamed, Ein, it spells who, or like he, is the highest, right? All, right? Who all. So he is the highest, and it's also interesting because if you rearrange the letters, that acronym of each line, it also spells Olah for like an offering. But Olah is not just an offering, it's an ascension. Okay, so that was one thing that I noticed this weekend. I think I might have noticed that in the past, but I never really wrote it down or thought much after it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching.